The mics are hot, like sizzling hot.
Like sizzling hot.
I'm not surprised.
All right. Well, welcome to the Barre Beat podcast, live from Fly on the Wall Productions, Main Street, Barre, Vermont. I'm looking at the screen here, and it looks like I'm a little crooked, which is kind of making me feel I'm a little cattywampus.
You are a little cockeyed.
But you know who is not?
Who?
Raylene isn't.
I'm not.
Raylene isn't cattywampus.
You are a little crooked up
I
there.
was a little crooked. I'm a little bit better now. How you doing, Raylene?
I'm doing good.
You doing good?
I'm doing good, Michael.
Do you have a
I did.
Lovely day?
I had a great day.
You had a great day?
As far as Mondays go.
Really? Are you excited about our topic of conversations tonight?
I'm always excited about our topics of conversation. Anything related to the city and what we can do to help and how we can spread the information makes me happy.
This is true. It's a good thing.
Even when I get heated, I'm happy. I'm just heated.
You know what? It's okay to get heated, although it's a little warm in here tonight. I'm feeling a little crispy.
You are.
Yeah.
But because of the actual temperature, not because of
correct. It's because
feelings.
It's warm in here.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that it would be nice to have some cool air in here.
Well, I could go get you a fan, Prince Michael. It's right in the next room.
Wait a minute.
Would you like it? Now you sound like JD. Where's my coffee?
His coffee is usually...
You know?
Yeah. His coffee's...
He's always giving me a hard time about...
Right
he didn't have his coffee yet.
In case people don't know where his coffee is, it's still here. It's right in the cup.
Week's worth.
Should I? No, I won't. I'll be nice. Anyway, so want to just dive
That's
right
not
in?
Even that bad. Yes,
Yeah,
I do.
You want to dive right
I
into
do.
the school board stuff?
Sure, why not?
All right. So, for the most part, the only thing that's on there that really has my interest, really the most important thing, is the Behavioral Ad-Hoc Committee. Mm-hmm. And I know that it causes great anxiety to the administration when we say ad hoc committee. So I'll just say the Behavioral Task Force.
I was going to say, I'm not, why do people get so upset over that though? I'm not really sure.
I don't know, but I'll say this. I have a strange suspicion that we have a problem. And based on like conversations that I've had with staff, mm-hmm. and not staff, during business hours, but
right,
just
people that you know.
Right,
mm-hmm.
people that
I know people that teach and work at the school that talk about it all the time.
Right, and we've had the conversation came up last year, mm-hmm. and it was immediately shot down by the superintendent. Mm-hmm. And
I remember.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if you can do that. I don't think you can. I don't think what you're saying is true. Mm-hmm. I mean, you may be able to say that somebody told you that, but that's the person that told you that makes me question whether or not they should be telling you that. Mm-hmm. Because what was pitched then was what I pitched again. And the only difference is I wanted to see the email string from the attorney on it. And,
right. And you didn't get to see that?
Oh, I got to see
you
it.
did. Oh,
and
yeah.
I got to see where he said, yeah, that's okay. Mm-hmm. And, I think that given that, we should absolutely have that behavioral ad hoc or behavioral task force. It's designed, the way that I set it up in my email was they would review policies, procedures, and look at the outcomes, not specific to children, but like, you can provide information without disclosing PII information.
Of course you can.
Yeah. And, I
people do it all the time.
Is that a flicker?
It was a flicker. Probably a storm is coming.
Oh.
We're supposed to get a thunderstorm, so.
Well, let's hope that
it could be.
Doesn't shut us down.
Although we have emergency crews going by, so maybe something else has happened. Pole hit or something. You never know.
But yeah, so it'll be interesting to see if we actually have a fight on that, because I don't understand why we would have a fight. The thing that I pitched was 2 principals, 3 teachers. 1 teacher has to be from Barre City Elementary School, and one of the principals, well, it would have to be, like Brenda Waterhouse or one of the other principals there. That's what I originally pitched, and I actually think now, after giving it some consideration, it should be just teachers, because they're the ones that are on the ground, right? They are the ones that are, right there. And they're the ones that I think are afraid to speak. Oh, we got police going.
I think that it would also maybe be a really good idea if once school resumed that you included a few students as well, that the teachers have said these are the few that we pick to kind of be the mentors of what we're trying to promote and do here. At some point, I think that would be a good idea to add that to the mix.
Maybe like in a stage 2. I think that the actual, like, the first part of it to kind of figure out what's going on.
Pick it all apart.
Yeah, to pick it all apart should be the teachers and probably 1 school board member. That would be my recommendation. We'll see whether or not that takes,
and sometimes I think that it's the kickback sometimes I think comes from fear of thinking that people think that you're doing a really bad job, or and so it's not necessarily a reflection of what one person is doing, but a reflection of the times and what we're going through right now. And so I would rather have a committee like that and talk about it, even if I was wrong, than to have it continue and have something really horrible happen on my watch.
I would agree. Michael says, what happens when the superintendent doesn't want to believe this group? You know what? Then it's really up to the board to take control. If that's the case, which, then the question is would this school board take control? In that level.
They need to.
Well, I know. Absolutely.
They have needed to for quite some time now. I've only been attending the meetings probably a little more than a year now. And even just some of the bullying issues and some of the things that parents have brought to light by them alone, never mind what staff has brought to light. Yeah. There's a lot of work to do. And if you want to have a good year where kids are truly able to get a good education, this needs to be pretty front and center, really.
Completely agree. And this is the best time to do it because it's the summer months.
Get a hold of it.
Start it off. Hopefully, we'll see. It probably won't happen, unfortunately.
Well, and that's really unfortunate. That's very unfortunate that is something that won't be seriously considered.
And it might. I shouldn't say that it won't, but I feel like there's been such a kickback from other school board members that it would be interesting to see whether or not that actually has any impact, whether or not there will be.
And what kind of support or information are they looking for to say, okay, yes, this makes sense? I'm not real clear on what more they need for information than what they have been being depleted.
I know.
I mean,
Well,
come
I
on.
think there's some like disconnect from some school board members. I don't think that there's there we don't get the opportunity to, hobnob with a lot of teachers, I think. And maybe a lot of teachers don't feel comfortable coming to a school board member and saying, "Hey, you know what? A kid beat my friend up, and and now she's on like workman's comp, and I'm not giving out a specific situation for the record,
Right.
Just so everybody
Right.
knows.
This is just
I mean,
pulled from the hat
I
situation.
do know that there have been cases where that's happened. That information, I shouldn't say I know that because it's not been confirmed from any official source. It's only been, told to me by some teachers. And this is a problem, across the country, right? So, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't be fixing it or trying to fix it, in my opinion. So that'll be interesting. I will ask that folks that are interested in this topic and that want to, help the problem in our school system and kind of let it out there so that we can expose this to light and take care of the problem. If there's something that we can do about it, I ask that you show up on Wednesday night and support it. So,
And the tough situation too is, I think that, it's tough for teachers to come forward. This is the administration they work for. And so, if you're confronted, you probably need your job to support your family, and so you bite your tongue and then go home and cry. And so I would think that giving them this peace of mind would be pretty incredible.
Yeah. I'll say this. I hear, obviously doing the show and being in city council for like 13 years, you get, and having the Barre City Community fan page, you get a huge amount, and being friends with you, who knows everybody.
I know.
You get to have your ear to the ground and listen
Yes.
to people that are talking. And one of those benefits that I get is I can hear some of those stories, which is the reason why I'm like so much in support of doing this. And there's things that you hear that you can't talk about,
Right.
because like you said, you don't, they're afraid of losing their job or something like that. It's the case for every situation,
Right. And it's the case for every employee, no matter who
Right.
you work for. You always go, oh, do I really want to bring this up? I need this job. Should I just suck it up and maybe look for something else? Or, yeah.
All right.
Maybe they should start a little suggestion box that people can just drop little notes into.
I want to do that. I want to get a Survey Monkey. I've thought about getting a Survey Monkey thing. It's like $300 though, so
I know.
it's like super expensive.
I checked into that too, for somebody that we're doing advertising with, for, and I couldn't believe how much it was.
Yeah, it's super expensive. It would be. I would love to be able to do that
Someday.
Yeah,
We'll be rolling in it. We'll pay for one.
So, do you want an update on the homelessness issue?
Sure. I've heard some things too. So, from different people in different organizations. So, I'm anxious to hear what you know and have to say about it.
All right. Well, the tragedy never happened.
Well, not in huge numbers,
Well,
right?
so
Exactly.
Here's the problem. Like, we sat there for months, like, oh no, the world is going to come to an end, and we got everybody all flustered up about where we're going to put encampments, and then guess what happens? Have you heard anything? No. And you know the reason why?
No.
Because the majority of the people found a place to go.
Right.
Okay. When forced with the prospect of either do they go on the street or do they find a place to go? And the majority of a good amount of people did just that. They found a place to go. Others are camping discreetly. And we haven't, to my knowledge, had any complaints about people trespassing or causing any problems.
Not here in the city. I do know that it has happened in a few locations. One place right here in Berlin where they have had to deal with some abandoned buildings and some troubles. But, yeah. But nothing... the entire situation is not good. It's horrible. No, whether there's 10 people or 300 people released, it's not a good situation, and we need to find a fix, not a Band-Aid. That is how I feel about that. But I agree that it was very much blown out of proportion, and people were afraid that 386 people were suddenly going to be flooding the streets of Barre City, and they were going to be camping in our parks and in the cemetery, and we're going to be trying to find places to put showers and porta potties, and I have heard the same thing from some of the organizations, that there are some people that have been given bus tickets to go back to Florida, North Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, the southern states in which they came here from for the voucher program. I even watched an interview the other day on ABC, I believe it was. It was the one out of Burlington. WPTZ maybe, where they interviewed a couple of people that said they specifically came here for the voucher program and that they would probably just go back home. And, that's super frustrating for many of us that could, because think about if we weren't taking in people from all over, how much longer we could have helped our own if all of that voucher money didn't get sucked up so quickly by people that aren't even Vermonters. And I know that that's going, people are going to freak out that even I say that. But, there are people that literally took buses up here, churches, different groups, put them on buses to come to Vermont to take advantage of the voucher program, which left us a lot less to take care of our own. And so that's a bigger problem for me than even things that have happened in the city. I think that the state of Vermont, the not even just the state, but the feds, they put a huge burden. And now they're saying, sorry, you're on your own, you figure it out. And we could have done something about this.
I'll say this: housing first is not the answer.
No,
I'll just say that.
Yeah,
but
that I agree. I agree with that. Like, it's not the answer.
We should have a couple people, because I know that Erica is a fan, or not a fan. I shouldn't say. She supports the housing first model. It would be interesting to get her and another person in that does not support that model. I mean, besides me, but my knowledge of anything outside of, I think that the community first model that they have going on down in Texas is a better model. Or, I do mention the whole Japan way of dealing with homelessness as well, on how they handle it with, taking care of business. But, it would be interesting to get that, like, a panel and to discuss the merits of both.
It would. And she, I believe that she would be the person that I would want here from that side. I mean, and we've had her on Aired Out, and I welcome always what she has to say, and her knowledge is huge. And I think that her knowledge is different than most because it's personal stuff for her too. It's stuff that she doesn't take on as a job. For her, it literally, it's her life. It's what she is passionate about doing. And so I would love to do that. Talk to her and a few others.
Well,
So maybe we can do something like that.
Maybe. I think
in the very near future. It's still happening, though. I mean, there's still more people going to be released. Some people have gotten extensions depending on who you are, what your situation is. So we have definitely not felt the full scope of it, thankfully, all at once. And hopefully we don't. Hopefully you are correct. People will find couches and friends and family, or maybe travel back to the states in which they came from. Like I said, there are a lot of services offering bus tickets and flights back home.
So I know that the Hilltop and the Econo is slated to evict people this week. But there definitely was more people than anticipated that are making last minute plans.
Right.
And taking care of business that way. I do know that as for the BOR, the state has asked for some changes for the fire safety, plumbing, and electrical before they entertain our offer to provide a place for $29,000 a day.
Wow.
And we did inform them that they would need to reimburse us for those changes before we would move.
So there are significant changes, I'm assuming.
I would imagine that would be my guess. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Well, we offered, and
we offered.
The city offered, and if the state,
I'll say this: I think Montpelier is opening up their rec department or rec building, and I'm sure that they can handle.
And I told now,
all due respect, I again, I'll make the comment that I've made before. Berry City has done a lot of the social stuff.
I agree.
Way more than we are capable of doing with this community. So my thought is maybe Montpelier, who sits on their high horse all the time and preaches all this stuff about being like everything, maybe they should, step up to the plate and do something. But that's just my little rant there.
And so now I'll tell you what I think should happen that is super, and your eyes I'm ready for your eyes to bulge out of your head.
Surely will.
And you're sweating already. And I don't say this meanly. I do not say this to be disrespectful, degrading, any of that in any way. I say this literally from my heart with great sincerity. Is that I believe, or I would like to see the state open up the old prison in Windsor. Take the fence down, open it up, and let them self-sustain. There's rooms. They could, they would be safe there. They could garden. There's a huge kitchen. They could,
before you go any further, we need to clarify that because I'm sure that people are like, open up the prison.
Right. I said take the fence down.
Take the fence down.
I'm not saying keep it as a prison. I'm saying it's a huge
commune.
It's a huge commune that's already owned by the state. It has acres and acres of land. I spent 3 years there and I did just fine. I'm not saying it to be mean. I'm saying it because I truly feel that we could do great things there, that people could, the state spends all kinds of money. They've been spending money. Get somebody and get services in there to help people deal with addiction, mental health, how to find a home, get a job, fill out job applications, get themselves kind of cleaned up and prepared. If you don't have your high school diploma, let's figure out how you're going to get your GED. Maybe you could get it there.
But,
lots of women, when I was there, lots of women got their GED.
But Raylene, we have to give them housing first.
They would have that with all of these other things.
That's not what they mean by housing.
I know, but
you need to have a house. Let's give them
that is. But we know that that's not going to happen. We don't have it here, and so
the frustration of state stuff.
I know.
With all due respect, some
and I don't say it in a mean way. I say it because I really, truly believe it could be a great thing. It could be a great thing. There's acres and acres there for gardening and there's shops and there's just so much on the compound that the state already owns. And take down the fence. I'm not saying that. Come and go. Drive. Have your cars there, just like you have them at the hotel. It's still a place to go. Be safe. Be warm. Be sheltered. Have facilities, and maybe just somehow get 1 foot further in front of the other than you were last week. I don't know.
But if they're from another state, I say
no. If you're from another state, yeah, go. We need to start finding a way to take care of our own. And Windsor isn't going to do it alone. We have a lot more than just 100 people, 130, 140, whatever beds there are there, but or rooms. But I don't know. I just think that those sorts of solutions could happen. There are lots of buildings owned by the state of Vermont where they're just sitting empty.
Yeah.
And we could do something very useful with them.
What do the folks out there that are listening think? That's what.
Oh my God, they're probably freaking out
about
freaking out at me.
I don't think they would have a problem with what you're referring to. It doesn't seem like.
I'm really, because I don't mean it in a horrible way. I truly don't. I really truly believe that it would be a good thing and that we could see really good results.
Yeah. Well, with that, do you want to move on to the next topic?
Oh, gosh. No.
I just want you to know that I'm recording you. You are
That's okay.
live streaming, and I'm recording you.
I'm quite used to that.
Are you?
I am. I'm quite used to the whole recording, live streaming thing, and I'm good with that. I'm good with that.
So am I. I'm used to it as well, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So
maybe we should get one of those little things that says recording in progress.
Oh, we could do that.
We
could do that. I wonder if the people that are. It's funny. I got an email from someone that was upset about me recording it, and they said that I was recording secretly. They actually walked.
No.
What do you mean no?
You weren't recording secretly.
No. So as we were just having a conversation, and that person walked by, and I saw it, and I was like, oh, I wonder if they know we're recording live.
Oh, okay. I saw you look out the window, and we're like, yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Obviously we're chatting about the D&E committee.
There actually are options for other things other than single room occupancy, Alice, actually, on the grounds, and changes could be easily made to make it a bit different.
See, I don't see these comments. It makes me very angry.
Yeah, we have some coming in.
Well, anyway, so yeah, there was the meeting started off. There was a conversation about whether or not they were going to record, and of course, I upload all the videos of these committees that are recorded. So, and I've been attending the D&E and been participating as I attend. I'm actually one of the only counselors that actually attends those meetings, and have been attending for quite some time, and have been watching the videos when I don't get to attend. But on Thursday night, there was a little kerfuffle. I was asked if I was recording, and I said, yes, I am.
You mean you were truthful
I was
about
truthful.
something?
I was truthful. You asked me, I told you yes. Absolutely. I'm not.
You weren't trying to hide
No,
anything.
I wasn't trying to hide anything. I mean, I've mentioned before that I'll just record the meetings myself and upload them. It's not that big of a deal.
And you
It's
can
just
tell that
easier.
you were recording. I knew you were recording. It says when you start recording, it says Michael Booten is recording.
Right.
You get the same little notification for anybody that is recording right in the bottom right hand of the Zoom. It comes up. And then the whole time, if you look on the participants tab, the whole time your camera will I don't know how to, it doesn't illuminate, but it yeah, kind of like you can tell that it's recording. It's on. Your face isn't on. You're recording because your camera is in use. It's very apparent.
I don't know. All I know is that
People record city council
was
meetings all the time
really
during city council.
frustrating.
It
That's
is
all
frustrating.
I have to say, because you know what? That meeting, nothing exciting happened except for
No.
that issue. And that's the issue that got put into the newspaper. It was like none of it was. It's not like the only stuff that's kind of like exciting that gets people worked up is when, we threaten to shut people down or we don't record things.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only time that that meeting gets really charged.
Well, I'm
in my
telling you,
opinion.
I put my name in the hat for possibly a seat on the committee.
What is wrong with you?
We'll see how that goes. Well, for one, I truly think there really is a lot of work to do, and I think that committee could do great things. But I would want to be much more transparent because that's the way I am. Obviously, hello, here's the mic, and I very rarely don't not say something. It bothered me. I was more bothered by the fact that that the chair said, if you care enough about what's going on, you'd just be here. It wouldn't matter. You wouldn't need to watch later. You would just make sure you're here. So, and I just thought, what a shitty thing to say. Because in doing so, she just excluded any parent that might be at a ball field, gymnastics, any parent that maybe is working a second shift job. And they truly do care and want to be a part of. Did my mic just go?
No.
Oh, truly do care and want to be a part of what's going on in the community, but they have to watch it when they can. And that's not always going to be at 6:30 or 6 o'clock. It's going to be literally when they can. There are some parents that don't get out of work until 5, and they're just racing through the door at that time, trying to get dinner and those sorts of things. And I just think that for a committee that's supposed to be so inclusive, they're excluding a whole lot of people just with that comment alone.
Yeah,
That frustrated me.
It was a really frustrating meeting in general because then we had a conversation about the recent fight, right? Which to me is one of those things that you don't talk about, right? And
right. There was an altercation after school between some kids.
Right. And that's where it ends. You want to talk about that? Let's talk about the behavioral ad hoc committee.
Right.
Right. And we discuss it in that term. We don't discuss the situation itself. And my concern was, things that might be said that weren't accurate. And
that was a legitimate concern. I mean, that's not okay. Accusations
and at the end of the day
are not great things.
Talking about dopey kids. I mean,
Don't, because that
I say-
needs
I
a behavior adjustment and to
right.
stop
Absolutely.
this crap that
Right.
that's happening
Right.
right now,
But I
the bullying and the
certainly-
name calling and the
Yeah. But that could be dealt with looking at our procedures and our policies and
I very much
all
agree.
of that stuff. And that's the conversation that should have been had. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, that's not what was had. But it is what it is. Mm-hmm. So
I guess I'm always a little bit shocked at, I always thought that I welcome any conversation. I really do. Whether somebody's pissed at me, they don't agree with me, or they agree with me. I just think it's great to have conversation. That's how we learn. And so even if somebody's pissed at you, state your side, but hear them out. And maybe you'll learn something, and maybe you won't. Maybe the only thing you learn is that you think they're a bigger dumbass than you thought before. Who knows? But the fact that you are respectful enough to have that open conversation is huge. Yeah. And I just don't feel like they are that open to having open conversation. And you can't be inclusive. You can't be diverse if you want to stay in your own little huddle. That doesn't work. You need to be able to hear from all sides, from all people, all viewpoints. And then you somehow, and all those points aren't going to be pretty every time. They're just not. Right. It's no different than me talking about addiction. That is not an easy topic. It's not something well received. A lot of people have very strong opinions, even yourself. You have strong opinions. And you and I are great friends. And we've had many great conversations about it. Yep. And I understand where you're coming from. But I also think that you have heart enough to understand where I'm coming from too. And we always have found a way to meet in the middle. And I'm not so sure that current group can meet in the middle. I look at like Joe Rail and I, polar opposites. I've had some of the best conversations I have ever had with that man. I just have. He and we always have amazing conversations. We're super respectful to each other. We go back and forth. We definitely get heated because we both believe we're right. And which means that we are both right because we both have our rights to our opinion. But sometimes
somebody's truth is somebody is
no
right.
I don't even look at it like that.
Right.
I truly believe that he's right and I'm right, and it's just up to us to be respectful to each other. Like we have to respect each other.
I don't disagree with respecting. I'm just making the comment that Schrodinger's cat is either dead or it's alive.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's either dead or it's alive.
Yes, but I also believe that it's possible for two people to be right because there is a middle ground. There's a common ground where we can come together and say, okay, I'm going to take bits and pieces of your truth and right, bits and pieces of my truth and right, and we're going to make this a whole piece that's going to work together. That is possible. I've seen it in my lifetime many times. Michael's face is like, what?
No.
No. But for real, I just
no.
I really hope that at some point that committee can get to that point where they are willing to step outside of their box and know that they can make some really great changes if they will open the doors a little bit and stop being so you feel attacked, because at times you are attacked because people are feeling attacked because of your secrets. You know, they don't want you to be secretive. They want to be a part of what you are calling inclusive. But you're not inclusive at all.
So I just want to point out that I'm going to pull this up on the screen so that people can see it. I think I can.
Are you going to show a picture of a dead cat?
No.
All right.
No, I'm not going to show a picture of a dead cat.
If you were going to do that, I was going to have to, give you a real hard time.
No. I'm going to show a picture of this right here. Right? This is true. This is true. This is truth. You might see it in a certain way, but I'm telling you, the truth is it's a cylinder.
I can't even see.
You can't even see it. Well, the folks online can see it, and they're going to agree with me, right, folks? Sure. I see all the comments. But
what if they don't? That's the thing. Can you just agree to disagree and move on and not be horrible to each other?
You're wrong.
No, see, and I know different of you than that because you and I have had some pretty intense conversations,
I've had conversations
about many topics. We have talked about abortion, super hot topic. We have talked about addiction, super hot topic. You and I have talked about.
We can agree to disagree.
Trump,
but I'm still right.
Trump, Obama.
Goodness.
I mean, hello. We have had some pretty deep conversations, and I still love you.
I appreciate that.
Because I have respect for you.
Do you want to talk about Trump?
Not really.
So do you think he's going to end up? We're going to talk about it. Okay,
all
folks.
Right. No, we
is
can.
It. We're all done with city stuff. Now we're just going to shoot the breeze about national politics.
I mean, we're fine. We can.
So
I wish it would just
before he gets the ankle bracelet.
Oh, I don't think that will ever happen. I think that I don't think that will ever happen. I will be surprised if it gets a lot further past where it is right now.
Oh, really? You think it will? Won't get much past? So my thought on this is I don't think that, and I'm going to get into a lot of trouble, but I don't think he's the winning ticket for the Republicans.
I don't either.
I feel like maybe we should be like, although I really like you, you're just not my style.
Well, because we need to move past all of that.
Right.
Let's face it. It has brought great divide.
You think?
Okay,
you mentioned
huge
his name and
amounts.
People immediately go into "I hate you" mode, or
right. No, and so we just need to move on from him. We need to move on from Trump and let it be where it is.
I agree.
Right. He can just sit on his hill, and Hillary can sit on her hill.
Playing with his little hands.
And, for real. I mean, they're both asshats. There's asshats everywhere.
There is.
And hopefully we can get a good Republican ticket.
I'm hoping that's the case. We'll see. It's yet to be.
And I would like to see one in the state and in the city. And hello.
Yeah, I'd like to see a good. Yes, I see what you're saying there. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's crazy, but the good thing is that we don't really have to deal with it.
I can be a Republican and say I want to see some really good Republican tickets, and not be a hateful, horrible person.
You'd be surprised, though.
I can be a really good person.
So what people don't
that
know
cares a real lot about a lot of things.
I agree with you, but most people would consider you a terrible person just by mentioning the fact.
I know that.
If you say that you're a Republican, you're a terrible person.
I know that. I love Phil Scott, but
I do
who
too.
else?
Although
Democrat.
a lot of people
here's a
dislike
Democrat
him on the
that I
Republican
absolutely
side.
adore, Rory Tebow.
Oh,
and he got sworn in today as judge. I'm so happy for him.
I am too.
For the Superior Court judge. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
He
should have gotten the other position, but
he absolutely should have gotten the other position. And we're paying for it as far as I'm concerned. We're paying for it. Well, I saw my Rory Tebow sign, and I ever. Like,
I never
seriously.
got one.
Oh, I have one right in my garage.
Oh.
Yeah, his in Bridget's. I'm gonna put him on my lawn, take pictures, and say, "See what you're missing." Because there's a couple of things that could
I
be
agree with that.
being dealt with right now that I think he
Very
would have
sad.
dealt with very differently. And Democrat, progressive, even we could say with some
Yes.
things. And I still hands down would have voted for him, would campaign for him all day, any day, every day.
Yeah. I like Roy Tebow. He's a good guy. But all right. Well, I think we drew that out quite well.
I think we did a great job.
I think so too.
And I don't know. I mean, I wish more people would start
Comments?
conversating.
I know.
I mean, there are quite a few comments,
Are
but
there?
mostly Michael and Mr. Deering, Counselor Deering. Alice, who is not feeling well this evening, so we wish her well, and we hope she feels better real soon and is going to come back and join us next week.
And
yeah.
just a reminder, folks, Wednesday night, we're going to be talking about the Behavioral Ad-Hoc Committee to help address the behavioral problems in our school system. I hope you guys come out and show your presence. But other than that, I have nothing else. How about you?
I'm good.
You're good?
Yeah. Tune in tomorrow at noon on Aired Out for It's No Secret.
It's no secret.
It's no secret, right? It's no secret. So it'll be my very first show, and Dottie Moffat is going to come in and talk with me tomorrow. Tomorrow at the Turning Point Center, right down the road, they're putting the naloxone boxes in.
Oh, okay.
There's actually going to be another one put in the city too at the new women's place right over here on Keith Avenue. Right, that's where the new women and children's places, Keith Avenue. I always forget what that street is called. There'll be one put over there as well, but not tomorrow. But tomorrow, 2:00, they're going to put that up at the Turning Point Center, just down the road from us. And super happy about that. I'd love to see them throughout the city. And tune in tomorrow at noon on Aired Out for It's No Secret in memory of Tyler Matthews.
All right. Well, I guess that's it then.
That's it.
Well, everyone, we hope you have a lovely evening, and thank you for watching the Barry Beat podcast live from Fly on the Wall Productions, Main Street, Barry, Vermont. We hope you have a lovely evening and stay cool out there.